Bo Johnson at the plate now.
I think I took everything out already.
We're fairly on second base.
I'm pretty sure I got
Oh.
copies.
Also, move over. I'm not sure if you fit the, sure you keep that ball to the right side of the diamond. Get fairly over the third base some way so that we can pick up that fourth run on and out if possible. So fairly, Johnson should be hitting towards right field.
And Johnson is nipped by that pitch, thrown inside to him, so it's tipped in and he's on. Oh, it's a rough inning for Cruz.
All right, everybody. How's it going? This report.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wait till Scott gets in. So. Oh, and John Lloyd, here they come.
It's not. Jim Weaver. Okay. Well, number 4, I thought.
Okay. Mike.
He's coming.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our SABR Day event. I said, welcome to our SABR Day event. Now, this may not be as fancy as what we're used to with our meetings or our monthly meetings. But hey, this is an annual thing that we do as a chapter that SABR does. Everybody gets together, talk baseball all day. But of course, we don't do the all day thing. We're so active. We only do about 2 hours. And then we don't usually have a zoomed in presentation. Hey, Mike, how's it going? But I thought I would give y'all a special treat today. I've been talking about this for probably as long since I've had this video. But what you're watching here is and I think one of our speakers is already online. Brian, I think, is already on. So
I'm here.
We're going to wait for Bailey inside to come on at around 12, and they'll give their presentation. But what you're seeing here, of course, is the oldest Astros TV broadcast to exist. Okay, the oldest one, according to Rare Sports Film. This is September 4th, 1965. Astros versus Dodgers. As you can tell, it's not going too well for the Astros right now. But in fact, the Astros get shut out in this game, 5-0. But all the scoring happens here in the top of the fourth. So
Who are they playing?
they're playing the Dodgers.
Right.
Okay. This game is unique because, one, they say it's the oldest Astros TV broadcast from the Astrodome. Keith Jackson is on the call, and so is Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson's on the call. So it's the only year he would ever do ABC's Game of the Week, ABC Saturday afternoon baseball. So
The last time the Dodgers beat the Astros.
that's right. The last time the Dodgers actually beat the Astros. This is only a 54-minute. It's a partial game broadcast. It's made directly from the original Kinescope. 1965 was the first year ABC televised Major League Baseball. And Keith Jackson is also in his first year of Major League Baseball broadcasting. Of course, we all know Keith Jackson for football, right? College football. Okay, but and it says here, for the first time, an African American is doing color commentary with Jackson. The only year Jackie Robinson did Major League broadcast work. Okay, so rare partial broadcast. It began, of course, in the second as Bob Aspromani led off the home second for second inning for the Astros, and it ends with the 5-run Dodger fourth, with LA having just taken a 5-0 lead. So again, this is a partial broadcast. It's only about 55 minutes long. I have the box score and everything, and this company's great. They're at the SABR conventions. I also got a broadcast, the 31, 32, or maybe a documentary or something about the World Series or something like that with some partial broadcast. And also the Japanese All-Star game from Tokyo in 1962 or 3. So, but here, I'll pass this around. Bobby had
So I'm saying they're playing on grass.
They're playing on grass,
So is that
right?
before the grass died?
Yep.
Is this before the grass died?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I
One year.
exactly that.
Anybody have any comments about this game?
Where's Ben Scully?
Man, Mike, you were here, right?
Probably. Where's Ben Scully?
Where was Vince? I don't know. This is the ABC game of the week, so it's Keith Jackson and Jackie Robinson.
He's doing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's not doing the national. Good point.
So does anybody have any,
So Jackie Robinson was working for the Astros.
no, this was the ABC game of the week. So I'll turn it up for a few minutes, let y'all watch this. We're gonna have our guest speakers talk about AI and baseball. The funny little presentation. I'll try to maneuver make sure the Zoom doesn't go out here. So what I'll do until 12 o'clock is kind of turn this around so y'all can see some of the, so the people that aren't here today, I will upload this online, the meeting, so they'll be able to watch some of this. But anybody have any comments about this game? Anybody was here? Anybody have-
How long was their grass at the Astros?
How long was there grass at the Astros? 1 year, right? 1 year. Thanks. So you're seeing Astros grass.
Just two starting pitchers in this game.
Two starting pitchers were,
We have the benefit of.
it's right here. Bob Lillis from, no, hold on, I'm sorry. Mike Cuellar? Cuellar, I'm sorry, you're right. Mike Cuellar, that's right. Mike Cuellar and Jim Brewer from Dodge. So,
All screwed up, get rid of him. That old pitcher.
Mike Cuellar?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he was. So the starting lineups for the Dodgers was Maury Wills at shortstop, Jim Gilliam at third, John Kennedy, the pinch hitter for, I guess, Gilliam. Later, he also played third, Willie Davis at center field, Ron Fairley, right field, Lou Johnson, left field, Jim. Lefevre. Thank you. Jim Lefevre. At second base, Wes Parker, first base, John Roseboro, catcher, Jim Brewer, left and pitcher, and Johnny Podres, I guess, relieved him. The Astros, you got Eddie Casco, shortstop, Joe Morgan at second, Jimmy Wynn in center field, Bob Aspromani at third, Walter Bond at first, Joe Gaines at right field, Ron Brand catching, Bob Bruce, the right-hand pitcher, Mike Cuellar, left-handed pitcher, Bob Lewis also pitching. Bob Bruce was the starting pitcher. Right. I'm just going by this, right?
Yeah, I think Johnny Podgers was probably the starter. Brewer started.
Yeah, Brewer started. So I'm gonna pass this around and the Astros manager, Harry Crabb. Harry Crabb? At the time? Very popular Harry Crabb. Okay, so again, a little treat. If I had the film on here, I'm not sure if YouTube will kind of be like, yeah, you can't see this if it's copyright or something like that. So I'll keep this on. I'll turn the volume on and enjoy until, well, for another couple minutes. So after we have the presentation, we'll have our little baseball memorabilia story talk. There's some books over here if you want. Little book exchange. We'll be here till about 1:30.
Grab the door. Grab the door.
Yeah, Bob.
So there's a SABR publication, from our, when we hosted the annual conference.
Right.
It's talk about Astros versus the Dodgers. I think it was the year before when they played outside. There's a doubleheader in like the 1st of July. And I think you can get the article off SABR website. It's really interesting because like the Sunday game was held at 1 o'clock. And on the Saturday night game, a lot of people had to go to the hospital, heat exhaustion or exposure or whatever. In the Sunday game, each one of the umpires had to take to the hospital and like 50 people in the crowd. Because it was sold out game, they wanted to see Rysdale and Koufax pitch. And that this article said that as soon as the game's over, and both teams use all their players. And guys were having cramps left and right. And when the game was over, both general managers sent a telegraph to New York City to Major League Baseball saying, you cannot let Astros play Sunday afternoon games ever again during the summer. Because that was the policy of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Sunday games had to be at night.
So again, this is if you have a baseball memory or a video or something that you have, maybe a home video, any dog like that you want to bring and show people at the SABR meeting, you can. Another baseball thing I have, if you haven't looked at my jersey, I picked this up at FanFest.
Yeah. I got it too.
It is Imai's jersey written in Kanji. Okay? It says Imai. This is our new Japanese player who wasn't at FanFest because my wife had a good conversation with the pitching coach, John Miller. And what did you say, man?
He said he flew home. He had to fly home to Japan to get his affairs in order before spring training.
That's right. So I think the Astros did a great job this year considering the cold. I mean, they were giving out free autographs. I mean, Altuve was there, Correa was there, Lando Felix Jr. was there. Free autographs. We got quite a
Cam
few.
Smith, Hunter Brown.
Right. And one other little treat for those of us that were working the booth. I was standing there talking to somebody, and John Lloyd all of a sudden says, "Hey, Jose, how you doing?" Jose Cruz walked right next to our booth, and we got a picture with Jose Cruz. So I'll pass that on. So great call, John Lloyd.
was not about to enter down the highway.
But there was about 10,100 people that showed up for FanFest. So yeah. But anyway, I guess this is it. This is almost over. This is again a partial broadcast. He's only 54 minutes long. So 30 feet. All right. Let's see if we have our speakers here.
They're here.
Oh yeah, they're here.
Other ones are blazing. What's the date of this game around?
September 4th, 1965. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Cy, Brian?
Yes.
Hey,
All good. Yep.
Yep, I can hear too.
I can't hear them. Hold on a second. Let me go to hold on. All right, I'm gonna turn the game off. Okay.
That's probably why.
All right, now let's try this. When y'all say something?
Hello, hello, hello. You hear us?
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Hello. Can you hear me? I'm Cy.
Hey, son, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, everybody.
Bailey, you're at Wisconsin right now, right?
Yes, I am at the University of Wisconsin. It is 7 degrees today.
Well, moderate.
7 degrees, so it's a nice balmy summer day.
Yes, pretty much.
Good weather for us.
Okay, well, again, thank y'all for coming and dry cold for them, right, Mike? So,
That's pretty nice, actually.
so everybody here kind of got quite a little bit of a crowd here.
Wonderful.
Great. 15, 20 people, 15. Yeah, people here. So we got our resident Wisconsin guy right there.
Oh no, a Brewers fan. Oh, no.
Up as well, so yeah.
Okay.
Vince went to Wisconsin as well, so there you go. So
Oh, cool.
all right. Well, all family, Cy, tell us a little bit about yourself and take it away. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Bailey. I am a freshman at the University of Wisconsin, but I am from Austin, which is how I know Cy, and we are all members of the Hornsby chapter in Austin. And my dad is also here. His name is Brian. You want to take it away a little bit?
My name is Brian Hall. I am talking to you today from Austin, and certainly the third most knowledgeable baseball fan in my family. and spending time with Cy always puts me in my place in terms of baseball.
I wouldn't say that.
Cy?
Well, Cy Morong, call me Cy, you don't have to call me Cyril. I live in San Antonio, Texas, but I'm part of the Hornsby chapter as well. I have been for a long time. Originally from Chicago, I'm a White Sox fan, and now I'm a retired economics professor.
So if you can bear with us, I will have the presentation up, but we are all talking to you from 3 different locations. So I will drive the slides, but we may have to kind of hand signal or verbally tell me to advance the slides. So let me just get this going here. Let's see. I need to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
perfect.
All right, good deal.
All right, so yeah, those are introductions. We're all members of the Hornsby chapter, and Cy was being very modest earlier, but he is a baseball fanatic. He knows a lot about baseball trivia, and he was the inspiration for this talk called "Can AI Top Cy?" So we'll talk a little bit more about what that kind of means. So, as an introduction, we in our little email group for the Hornsby chapter, we email a lot on there about a lot of different things. And Cy likes to pose these trivia questions to the whole group. And I would like to say that my family knows a lot about baseball. My dad, my mom, and I are all members of SABR, and we like try to answer these trivia questions, and they are impossible. Cy like is a wealth of knowledge. And we were kind of inspired by his questions because we would, he gets his information from Baseball Savant or Fangraphs or Baseball Reference or all of these huge databases that we kind of have heard about and know about and stuff. But when we couldn't answer the questions, we would try and, ask ChatGPT and see if it could find the answer for us. And let's see if it gets it right or if it gets it wrong. So yeah, so what we're trying to determine is how will AI tools change what we look for in research, how we look at research in baseball? Can it help us in some way, or is it something to be scared of? Is it not something to be scared of? So these are all kind of questions that we're trying to figure out. So here's kind of what we're going to do. So we're going to take some of Cy's questions and we're going to run it through multiple different AI websites. So like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini were the 3 that we focused on. And then we're going to try and see if we can prompt it to find the right answer if it gets the wrong answer. See if we can kind of draw the information out of it with a little bit more background knowledge. And then from that, we're going to see if there's any patterns, any sort of things that we can draw from how AI works with baseball research, and draw some takeaways, see how that translates to the future of baseball. So here are some of Cy's questions. Cy, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the process of how you come up with your questions.
Sure. Yeah, this is, I guess, where I was supposed to come in. Well, I just want to say thanks to the Houston chapter for having us. And, Bailey, I think you said something, should we be afraid of AI or something like that? The last couple of days, there was something in the news about different AI programs are talking to each other on bulletin boards or something. So I think they're starting to take over. But anyway, like Bailey said, a lot of us in our Hornsby group on our message board, we ask trivia questions, for fun. It's not a formal process or anything like that. Someone thinks of a question, they put it out there, and everyone takes a shot at it. And most of these questions that Brian and Bailey looked at, they are questions that just occurred to me while I was working on something else. Maybe I was working on a blog post or just looking up a particular player on Baseball Reference, and then I would notice something. And I would think, oh, I should do a little more on that. And then I would notice some result in a search on StatHead, which is, part of Baseball Reference. That's their search engine. I think, well, that's an interesting result. That's a surprising answer to a question. So I thought, oh, that would be a good thing to ask on our message board. And I thanks to Brian and Bailey, but a lot of these questions I would not have known the answers to myself. Okay.
And it may be interesting for the audience. A big part of the remainder of the talk is to go deep on one of those questions, and it's this last one here. So
I'll talk just a little about that, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. And so just taking, for example, the one about Corbin Carroll. Okay, I noticed he had 15 doubles, triples, home runs, and stolen bases in 1 year, and that isn't especially great because 4 guys have done 20 of all 4 of those in a season. But 15 of all of those is pretty good. And I was just curious. I wonder who the last guy to do it was, and how often it's been done. So I searched that on StatHead. And, that, of course, is very easily done on StatHead. And the last guy to do it was Shane Victorino. But then when I saw the results of all the guys who had done it, I noticed that there was a pair of teammates who had done it in the same year. And they were the only pair of teammates to have done it. And I was surprised that they would have been the ones to do it. Can I mention who they are, Brian?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Babe Ruth and Bob Musial in 1921. I mean, I would never have guessed, if someone had asked me, who are the only teammates to have 15 of all of those stats in the same year, and again, teammates, Babe Ruth and Bob Musial. You don't usually think of Babe Ruth with triples and stolen bases, although we had over 100 of each one, and certainly not Bob Musial. So I thought, oh, that'll make a good question for our message board, because that's what we like to do sometimes. And again, I don't think I would have gotten the answer to that question. And so that's where almost all these questions came from. I guess maybe, Brian, when you're going through them, I'll chime in with something about a couple of them, like we talked about the other day. So that's I think that's about all that I had to say.
Yep. Well, what I would say here is that part of, in addition to all the great email activity that this generates, the other part of this is we've been around for quite a while, and then usually Cy will chime in, and he'll once somebody either gets the answer or everybody gives up, he'll say, no, it's this, and then he kind of brings his receipts, and I'm going to click on this URL because it shows, it basically comes back and it shows the results, right? So he did his homework here, and can you guys still see the stat?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, this caused us to talk a little bit about one of the great things. Whoops. So anyway,
So basically, as you can tell, Sai knows a lot about what he's talking about. He has done his research. He links everything to make sure that we know where he's getting the information from. And so we decided that we would test AI, see if AI can do better than we can with Sai's questions. And I don't know if you guys had time to read some of them, but you should, because they're very interesting. And I'm curious to see if people know the answers themselves. But here's just kind of a little chart of we took 10 questions and we've split them up into 2 slides here, but we have the question, the answer, and then 3 different AI websites that you can run questions through. So we have ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. So the red boxes are when the LLM got the answer incorrect. And it's kind of interesting to see how sometimes like the different LLMs would get the same answer, but they would all get it wrong. Sometimes it would come up with completely different answers and still get it wrong. So like, as you can see, the question about Carlton Fisk at the bottom, or can you go back? Yeah. Every single LLM said that it was Barry Bonds. And so like, why is it saying that? Because that's not the right answer, but clearly it's getting the same data from somewhere that Barry Bonds is the correct answer. You want to go to the next one? So yeah, here's more. Oh, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Before you go any further, did you, correct me if I'm wrong, did you explain what an LLM?
Oh, yes. Sorry. So
remember who you're talking to, you know.
Papa, do you want to take that actually? Because my dad
Sure.
is a tech guy.
Yeah, explain what an LLM is.
Okay. So generative AI means like it generates answers. It takes two pieces of information, and then you hear the term Gen AI means generative AI, which means if I take these two pieces of information, I can generate a third one. Maybe I can infer. You know, it's one thing, we've all used Google search, you know, many years, and if the link is out there, I can Google something and get an answer back because it's there. An LLM may actually create information or infer information from different pieces of information that it thinks it already knows. So when you hear people talk about generative AI, they're talking about generating information that wasn't originally already there. You can create new things that didn't exist before. An LLM is a large language model, which is what you feed. You know, you hear people talking about, how do I feed it all the training of these models? I feed in a bunch of information, and it's largely just a big statistical model to predict what the next piece of information should be, given the 10 things I have here, what should be the 11th thing. So an LLM is what they call a large language model. And what that means is all of the data that I might need to feed into ChatGPT so that it would come up with the right answer. So that's what an LLM is.
All right.
Yeah. So to like add on to that, I guess it makes a difference that when you ask ChatGPT a question, rather than saying to you, I don't know the answer to that, it'll be like, oh, of course, yes, here's the answer that you're looking for. And then it's completely wrong, like a lot of the time. So that is where like the generative part comes in, because it's trying to predict what might be the right answer. It doesn't necessarily know the correct answer. So yeah, these LLMs were producing an answer every single time we would ask one of Sai's questions, as you can see. And it was very confident, but it was getting the wrong answer. So here are a few more of the questions.
Can I chime in on something, Bailey?
Yes.
2 of the 10 questions, the one about the only 2 players to have 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and 200 hits in a season, and the one with the name the players with 400 home runs and 10 gold gloves. Those 2 particular questions were asked in my pub trivia league. And those are the 2 questions that all the AIs got right. So I don't know what's going on there.
I'd suggest that data is sitting on a website out somewhere
that may be, but I just don't know for sure.
Right.
Mike, you got a question?
Well, yeah, I'm sitting on the front row and I can barely read this. And we got a lot of people in the back, I don't think can read it at all. So when y'all are referencing the question and the result, we can read the question answer chat, GPT, Gemini, and Claude, whatever that is. But I don't think the people in the back can see your questions or answers. So
Can y'all see that?
No.
That class is.
So if you could read them out when you're talking about something, I think it would help everybody in the room.
Hold on a second. Yeah, if you want to read them out to them. So I try to do this.
There you go.
Sure.
How about this? Is that better?
Yeah.
There we go. How about that? We just can't see your faces, but we can see the thing. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to talk in depth about one question that y'all should be able to see in a second. So
The main point we're trying to make here is not the specifics of any one question, but really for an involved baseball trivia question that we know the answer to because we've either researched it on another website or because of size research, he knows what the right answer is. The real point we're trying to make is most of these they're getting it wrong. And then the rest of the talk largely is around, we're curious why it got it wrong. So I think Dr. Thompson, we've shared this, we will share the deck with everybody after this if we haven't already. And then you can kind of go into all of these, the trivia questions in detail yourself. So is that okay?
The next. Okay, so I'll read this slide out just in case people can't see, but here were the results of after we ran 10 questions through the 3 different AI websites. ChatGPT got 2 out of the 10 answers correct. Gemini got 3 out of 10 questions correct, and Claude got 3 out of 10 questions correct. So as you can see, that is not a very good ratio of how many questions the LLMs are getting correct, which I think kind of is important for people to see because a lot of people have fear around AI that it's going to steal jobs or that it's going to take away from, people being able to do research themselves or things like that. And in the state it is right now, it's not able to do that. It's not correct most of the time. So it's not something to be trusted or scared of. So from that, you can see, Papa, do you want to go to the next one? Basically, AI is no sigh. It cannot get the correct answer most of the time, but there's more that we can learn from this. So my dad's now going to talk about how AI can kind of still help us or what we can learn from this.
Right. So, in addition to Cy posing all of these great questions, being an academic, he's also endlessly curious and he's always asking questions. And when we got to know each other, he and I started talking. He knew that I work in software, and he started asking me all these questions about, what do you think about ChatGPT? What do you think? So this talk has really kind of been born out of us just chatting at SABR meetings and kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. So it's one thing to say, okay, 20 or 30% of the answers are right. That's kind of just plainly true. You can see from the tables that we just showed you. What I thought was more interesting is trying to figure out, why is it getting something wrong? We're trusting it to drive cars for us and write papers for us and do all these crazy things. So what the heck is going on inside of those things? And can we understand when it gets something right, and then maybe more importantly, when it gets something wrong? So going into this, I'll spoiler alert, there's no magic conclusion at the end of this. We don't have this, easy button to say, it always gets this right or it always gets this wrong. But these are some of the things we were kind of guessing about. Does it struggle when we've got these complex baseball statistics like WAR and game score? Does it get confused because I've got multiple criteria? You see some of those questions about number of total bases with steals, and is it multiple criteria that it's getting confused about? Or in particular, the one case we're going to get into is it just bad with old data? Like maybe it didn't get fed enough data to go find the old stuff, like for the 20 Yankees. So I apologize to those of you who are having a hard time with the small font. But of all those 10 questions, what we did was, in order to keep this in a manageable amount of time, we took one of them and ran it through ChatGPT, just to try to figure out, can I take one of these things, dissect it, and understand what the heck is going on inside of it? So this is the one that we did. So we said, who are the one that Cy was talking about? Who are the only teammates to have had 15 or more doubles, 15 or more triples, 15 or more homers, and 15 or more stolen bases in the same season? As you see, this is kind of that result set from StatHead that we showed you just a little bit earlier. So what I did is I took this example and then opened up ChatGPT to try to figure out what it's going to do. And the rest of this talk is really going to talk about this example in detail. So what I'm doing here is kind of narrating up top or narrating, but then this down here for those of you who have never used ChatGPT, this is actually the stuff where I am, interacting with ChatGPT to try to get it to give me the answer. So what I did here is I took at the starting point, I took, the raw question, and just put it into ChatGPT. Who are the only teammates to have 15 doubles, triples, homers, and stolen bases in the same season? And then it confidently comes back and it tells me, congratulations, the 2007 Phillies had two people, Jimmy Rollins and Curtis Granderson. So, knowing that that's not right, I continued to dig in a little deeper. So then I tried to say, well, what if I, because given what we already know, we know that it happened in 1921. So what I did is I said, what if I try to steer it toward the right answer? And I asked it then, I said, what if, did this also happen in the 20s? To tell it kind of, go look over here. And then it came back confidently again. It said, no, it didn't happen in the 20s, who each had 15, 15, and 15. And then it said, here's why: the only players to ever, so it's clearly referencing something with 20 doubles, 20 triples, 20 home runs, and 20 stolen bases. So then I corrected it. I said, look, I don't need 20, 20, 20, and 20. I'm only asking you for 15 of each. Quit answering a question that I'm not asking you. And then it keeps coming back and it says, no, there are people who have done it, but these are the only players that have done it in the same season. Only teammates that have done it in the same season. All right. So at this point, I'm getting quite dismayed and a little frustrated. I'm trying to point it in the right direction, and it still is not coming up with the right answer. So then I looked up, and I said, well, Jimmy Rollins and Curtis Granderson were never even teammates. So they both played for the Dodgers, but not at the same time. Jimmy Rollins played for him in 2015, and Curtis Granderson played for him in 2017. So then, armed with this piece of information, I then said, okay, all right, Mr. Smarty, what year were Granderson and Rollins, what year were they teammates and what team did they play for? And then it finally said, oh, wait a second, they were never, and this is an important correction. So then it said, okay, you're right, they were never teammates. So there's no instances in MLB history where two teammates. So it's now corrected itself only after I've challenged.
Oops.
Should I stop? Any questions?
No, I think.
Okay.
Lou, what did you say? How is AI reliable? Exactly.
I've never even seen it.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I think you're going where I ended up. So anyway, so now it finally said, okay, you're right. There were no instances. So then I said, please rerun this query again for 15 and 15 for teammates specifically in the 20s. And then it said, okay, there is nothing in there. It never happened. And then it also gives me reasons. This is the live ball era. blah, blah, blah. So not only is it giving me the wrong answer, but it is telling me why the wrong answer is correct. It's justifying it.
Oops, my bad.
Right, AI is, oops, my bad.
Yeah. So then I frickin' give it the right answer. I said, well, what about the 1921 New York Yankees with Babe Ruth and Bob Mosel? And then it goes, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. They were teammates that year, but they don't both meet the 15-15-15. And so they do not meet the 15-15-15. But then they spit out the things, and then they go, oh, wait. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. So then that makes them. So down here, like begrudgingly, after I beat him over the head with it, it told me that, yes, you're right. So then I go back and I start like I've gone through this whole series, and all of the stuff that I'm showing you here, I did in order, right? So this is all in order. I'm not mixing up the slides and the kind of conversation going back and forth. So then I went back and I said, I re-asked the original question again. And then it comes back again.
Oh, gosh.
And said, no, there's no teammates that have ever done this. And then it gives me an example, but then it said, there's historical research tools that looks like these two guys may have done it. So through this series, it says this historical research looks like it, but I don't have any listings that are saying it. So I took this piece down here to mean that a lot of how it's answering questions is only if I've got some sort of like Academy Award kind of a thing for baseball, where they may cite some famous, like DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak or something like that. So for right here, it looks to me like it's a little confused. It's like, okay, I've got the raw stats, but nobody has ever cited those stats on a website. So I'm not really sure. It's a little confused. And at least that's what I'm inferring from all of this. So here's what again, I kind of told you at the beginning, we don't really have a good, I can't tell you exactly how this thing works on the inside. But what we've inferred from here was, that it's mostly right. So it did seem to understand the stats, but for some reason they didn't, I'm still a little perplexed why it doesn't, it got it for Granderson and Jimmy Rollins, but not in the 20s. It understood the fact that it needed to be in the same year and the same franchise, but it didn't seem to understand what a teammate was, or the same franchise in the same year. Like, to be a teammate, you need to have both of these things true at the same time. So what does this mean? I mean, you guys can draw your own conclusions, but what I really think it means is that it seems to understand raw stats, but the context matters, right? It didn't understand franchises and teammates and years. I think it understood all of those things independently, but not together. It will continue to give you answers oftentimes when it shouldn't, right? It was not only was it giving me answers, but it was giving me justification as to why the answer was right, even when it was wrong. And then what you feed it obviously matters. I think that the last piece where it was confused, the stat, the 15-15-15, but yet I don't see it listed on any sort of historical baseball site, seems to have confused it. So again, I guess the other takeaway as I was thinking about this is that if you need it to be completely right and you don't know what the right answer is, buyer beware. If mostly right is good enough, then have it write your paper for you, or have it So have it,
Yeah,
have
I
it
think
do the first draft.
that's also important kind of to like really hone in on. The only reason that my dad was anywhere close to having ChatGPT get the right answer is because he already knew what the right answer was. He was prompting it with the exact questions, knowing what the answer is supposed to be. If you don't know the correct answer, which is most of the time when people are using ChatGPT, you would have just gone with the first answer and been completely wrong because it gives you all of this context around it as to why it's right to make it seem believable, even when it's really not.
Right.
So you're arguing with the machine, is that correct?
Mike says, so you're arguing with the machine, right?
Computer, not some little guy in a sweatbox in India.
I believe that's right. Yes. I think I'm arguing with thousands of machines in a location that I have no idea where it is.
It's in the cloud.
Yes, somewhere. Yes.
Hey, Brian, I have a question my wife just asked.
Yes.
Brian, Bailey, did you ask this question on Google?
Yeah, Gemini is Google. Gemini is the Google one. If you look,
okay. Oh, so you used, okay. And
now I just because so ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini is the Google offering. Now I did not go through, if we think about, because the three of us, we've talked about, golly, this, I feel like we've just scratched the surface and there's all kinds of other places we could go with this. And I only went deep with ChatGPT just because it's the most famous one, and I didn't have, to do all the questions with all the LLMs would be take forever. So I think there's certainly plenty more to do. These things are getting trained and getting improved all the time. So if we reran this time next year, you may get different results. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask, if y'all don't mind, I wanted to ask Brian, you and Cy about the same age, maybe?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 60. I don't know.
All right. Okay. So I wanted to ask.
I'm 66.
Okay. I don't think you have to share the screen anymore, right? The presentation's over with.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I wanted to ask you and Cy, and then Bailey separately. In the terms of this presentation and what you found out about AI and baseball research, what do you and Cy think about AI when it comes to original baseball research? And then Bailey, I'm going to ask you the same thing. I want a generational answer. I mean,
Oh,
So go ahead. When you're doing baseball research, what do you think in terms of AI now after doing all this?
I guess I would not rely on it. Like if I'm posting something to my blog, I mean, I'm going to go find the answers myself. I'm not going to say, oh, I want to post something about all the players who did X, Y, and Z. I'm just not thinking that AI is going to do a good job. Now, what I guess I would like to see is, say Baseball Reference train their own AI in-house program. And, Brian, a few weeks ago, I said something to Nicole. I said, oh, but that would probably be really hard. And Nicole said, no, it probably wouldn't. So I think that'd be a great opportunity for Baseball Reference if they had their own AI program that would search all of their databases.
Yeah.
Maybe that would work.
My response, Dr. Thompson, is a variant of that, which is how I use it at work as well, is a first draft of something. I don't need it to be completely correct. I need it to be directionally correct. And I'm definitely going to fact check it or, You know, like if I have a first draft, maybe if I wanted to write something, a first draft and pull things together, and then I was gonna hand edit it and make sure that everything in it was correct. Now, if I wanted a very discrete answer for a very discrete question, I wouldn't trust it. So those are the kinds of distinctions I'm kind of making. Like if I maybe a trend or a thing, like, you know, what are the 5 things that are going up since, you know, all the Tommy John surgeries, or, you know, if it, now we might be able to kind of then take those stats and then go double check them all or something like that. So, but you need to do your own homework to make sure that if the answer there's a right and a wrong answer, you need to go verify that the answer is right.
Okay. And Bailey, you're a freshman in college now. So if you're at U of H and you were in the business school, chances are you'd be in my class. Okay. So I would ask you, and what do you think of AI now and using it not only for baseball research, but for, you know, writing papers? Can you trust it? Go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah, I think how I would describe it, I agree with my dad that for things that require precision, or you need to, it's like there is either a wrong answer or a right answer. I don't use ChatGPT ever for stuff like that, because it will give you an answer and you don't know if it's right or if it's wrong. And I think this also is important, or for me, when I learned this, the databases that ChatGPT has access to is not like everything that is available to us, right? Like through baseball reference or things like that. Like all of that data isn't necessarily loaded onto the LLM. So what we could go look up doesn't mean that ChatGPT has access to it. So I think that was important for people to know, at least, because I think a lot of people think ChatGPT like has access to everything and can look at anything on the internet and just knows every single thing that's ever put out there, which is not true. I would say for papers and things like that, where it's not necessarily a right or a wrong answer, ChatGPT can be helpful, but it's very obvious, like the language, because it's trained where it's trying to predict the most likely next word or the most likely next phrase or something like that, it becomes very repetitive. So if I was trying to write an essay that really sounded like I wrote it, or that really sounded like I care about what I'm writing about, I would not use ChatGPT, because it will say things that are generic or basic or that don't sound like a human wrote it. So yeah, that's what I would say. I think people probably do rely, especially my generation, probably relies too much on AI, particularly in school. Maybe they use it too much. So I don't know, but I think the reason that people use it so much is because they don't understand that it's wrong so often. Like it seems like this really easy forum to just like ask any question and it'll give you an answer that seems realistic and seems correct. So I think the more that people learn about how often it's wrong, the less likely people are to just like blindly use it and blindly trust it. So that's what I would say.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Si.
I think I may have mentioned this to Brian. Sometimes when I was asking AI baseball questions, it was saying, oh, no, something never happened, or this is the right answer. And I would say, well, here's a link to a box score from Baseball Reference that clearly shows that player A hit a home run off pitcher B. And then the AI would come back and say, oh, no, he did not hit a home run off that pitcher in that game. You know, so that was another frustrating thing. That like it can't look at and read a link that you send to it. Sometimes I don't know.
Okay. One final thing, and I'll open it up. What do y'all see Bailey, you can answer this too, then Cy, Brian, what do y'all see? Is this a potential big red flag for the next generation of baseball researchers? AI, a potential big red flag in the next 20, 30 years of baseball research?
I think, and everyone else can comment on this, but I think people who really are, in computer science or in like sabermetrics or whatever, they probably, hopefully, they know how inaccurate AI is the way it is right now. So I would hope that, and the other thing is that if you're working for like an actual Major League Baseball team as a sabermetrics person, you have the domain knowledge to know, like, all right, if it gives you an answer that just like completely doesn't make sense at all, like, okay, that's not correct. Whereas if a baseball team were to hire someone who knows nothing about baseball, maybe they would be more trusting of it because they don't know what a pitcher is or what a catcher is, or like that statistics don't make sense for certain positions or things like that. But that's not happening. Like people who are hired to sabermetrics positions most likely know a lot about baseball, I hope. So I think more so, I don't think the way like public LLMs are like ChatGPT, I don't think that makes that big of a difference in terms of the role of having someone do statistics for a baseball team. I do think that, as Sai was saying earlier, being able to program your own LLM and load in whatever data sets you want to and have it and like know that it will give you the right answer because you've loaded in a data set that is accurate. I think that can be very helpful in terms of speeding up the process of how long it takes to get information. But I don't think it's something that like, I don't think people working for like the Cubs are just using ChatGPT to look stuff up and that's like changing their career, I guess. I don't know if anyone else.
Okay. All right. Great. Anybody else got questions? Anybody? I know it's a unique way of looking at baseball.
I have a couple.
It's important though. So what's that?
How do you sign into Claude?
Well, how do you sign into Claude? You actually go to Claude's website. I recently did this myself. You can Google up Claude. You can kind of, and you can sign up. It's kind of like ChatGPT. It's a different program than ChatGPT.
It's the Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is Grok.
Oh, that's Grok.
Right. So Claude is
Anthropic.
and what else, Brian?
Anthropic.
No.
Anthropic. It's Anthropic. So.
Anthropic is who makes Claude Code.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I had one comment on the question, your last question.
Go ahead. Yes.
That just, computers or the internet or all, we're in the very early wild west days of this new tool. So,
Yeah.
So it's very, very early. So the way it's affecting industry right now is it doesn't really mean that you still don't need humans, but what the humans are doing is changing. So for instance, in my industry, you used to have to get a bunch of people that would be programmers. Now, you still need those programs to get written, but if you were to use just ChatGPT or Claude Code to generate all the code, now you can do the first, if we kind of do it in the same analog here, I would write the first draft with Claude Code, but then I still need people to say, how do I know that that's right? Right? It needs to be correct.
Yes.
And now how do I, so what it has done is it's changed what people do. Instead of writing the first draft, taking all the time, you spend all your time affirming that the first draft generated by an LLM is correct, right? So if I were to take that to baseball research, instead of kind of getting into microfiche and kind of all like digging into the research, maybe now I'm having it spit out the first draft and then I've got to go figure out, is it right? So I think it's going to change how you do it. And then, as the tools, how do I get better at trusting the parts that it's good at and knowing the parts that it's not good at and things like that. It's like like cruise control right now. You know, I know that I can set cruise control and it's not going to drive into the back bumper of the car in front of me. But I'm not completely comfortable yet in doing the full driving. I just take my hands off and I'm going to go to sleep. So I'm now at the point where I trust it not to drive into the back bumper of the car in front of me, but I don't trust it enough to just go to sleep in the front seat.
Bobby, yeah.
Interesting.
So after you guided ChatGPT to get the correct answer, and then you asked the question after that point, it still got the wrong answer. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's another area that's still young that as it learns things, is it fed back in? Is it still learning? Now, in full disclosure, I did not use the paid version of ChatGPT. So there's some kind of, if you start paying, then they will learn on the things it does with you. Now, if I paid money, could I have had it learn? I don't know. Maybe that's the next phase of this research.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Anybody else? All right. Cy, Brian, Bailey, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Well, actually, if y'all remember my email, this is the part of the program where we share our stories about baseball memorabilia. Did y'all bring any?
I was
No, but
you got something you want to share or show?
can I ask
somebody?
I'll ask a trivia question, and the correct answer is a name that you guys have already heard today. Okay, and if anybody's on Twitter, I posted a video of this on Twitter today. What Hall of Fame baseball player scored a touchdown against the Chicago Bears in 1941?
Well, there we go, John Lloyd, our resident Cy. See, the Roger Hornsby chapter has Cy. We have John Lloyd.
Everybody needs every SABR chapter needs one.
Needs a sigh.
Yes.
Go ahead, John. You know the answer.
I would go with something like Red Grange or something like that, but I don't know.
No.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, go ahead and say the question again.
What Hall of Fame baseball player scored a touchdown against the Chicago Bears in 1941?
Jackie
Robinson was college all-star game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, Jackie Robinson, the college all-star game. Joe,
Jackie Robinson.
Joe, I'll send you a link of the video, and then you can share it with your group, because there's it's amazing that there's a good film of Jackie Robinson catching this touchdown pass and running it into the end zone in Soldier Field in 1941.
Okay.
So that's a digital artifact, a non-fungible token or something.
That was the college all-star game?
Right, yeah.
But he was trying to decide whether he was gonna go into football or baseball.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
College all-stars used to play the pro football champion.
Right.
Cool.
60s.
Pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was very good.
Well, thank you very much again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yep. And Joe, I just sent you a PDF of the deck that we walked through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can send it out to the.
Oh, so I can send it out to everybody. All right. Okay. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Hey, stay warm, Bailey.
I'll try.
All right. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Both played really well.
One second here. Okay, so when you do turn the light on.
College, you said the college all-stars, they would play the NFL champion. They actually won on 63, I think it was, years. They one really good quarterback.
All right, everybody, yeah.
Hey, how do you get you up there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let me,
That's cool, nice.
there we go.
20 years later, 30 years later.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say, in light of that last presentation, maybe we need to have some sort of certification or anything, like anybody who's drafting up trivia questions. We're not using ChatGPT for the answers. We need to have that presented, that when you're doing trivia questions, do not depend on ChatGPT.
Not dependent on AI, right?
Or if you put something in the newsletter for publication.
I can check those.
Okay,
Good to hear.
Say that again, what am I?
Vote on whether or not you should find Scott to wear that hat.
Scott, Mike wants to say something real fast.
We're gonna take a vote to see if you deserve a fine for wearing that hat.
How about it?
Oh, Bob's
I come with the esteemed emeritus.
okay, you got a pass.
All right, so this is the part of the program every year where we kind of share a story about baseball memorabilia we have. I showed y'all my video, Dodgers Astros. Showed you my new jersey here. But I'm gonna have my wife, she didn't know I was gonna do this. My wife helped me with this. My wife bought me, you wanna tell me when you got these from?
US Mint.
With the US Mint 2014 Baseball Hall of Fame commemorative coin program. So these are pretty neat little coins. Pretty cool. But do you want to tell me who won the Hall of Fame in 2014? Anybody know? I don't know. ChatGPT? I'm not gonna count it.
John?
John. But here are the two coins. I'll pass them around.
There's a
I had these under lock and key for the last after the last 11 years.
Who went in the Hall of Fame in 2014?
Here, I'll pass these around.
Why did you take it out of the thing?
There's that one, and then I'll pass the big one over here on the other side. I start over here with her.
But just pass the box with the coin in it,
All right.
not all the other stuff. And that's why you should have left it in the case.
Right there. Oh, wait back. Wait, there's Ken over there throwing my coins down.
We'll put it back in the case, honey.
Here, I'll take the little paper bottle. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'll take this. All right. So whoever's next, want to share stories?
John.
I can not go. Here, let me where are you at, John? There you at. Go ahead, John.
First of all, what I was going to bring, I couldn't find. I went to Fan Fest about 9 years ago, and Carlos Correa is signing autographs, the other players are signing autographs. And so everybody's in line trying to do that. And I see this beautiful woman standing there. And I think, I've seen her. Wait a minute, that's Danielle Rodriguez, which is his fiance. And I thought, it'd be pretty neat to get her autograph ball instead. So I had Danielle Rodriguez sign a ball. I have the ball signed by her. It's Texas.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she thought that was pretty neat too. And then I also had AJ Hinch sign his ball with Go Midwest City Bombers. That's the high school team we played on against my son's Edmond Bulldogs team in Oklahoma. So I had him sign the Midwest City Bombers on that, but I couldn't find either of them, so. The other thing is, David Hilton is a friend of mine who was going to come today. And,
Is he doing any better?
he is doing better, but then now he's got, kind of sick today, so. But he, has a lot of, he's seen Willie Mays quite often in his life. And one of the times, when he was pretty young, he got Willie to sign a ball for him, and there was an older guy sitting next to Willie and said, "Hey, can I sign it too?" And David said, "No, no, no." But the guy signs it. Well, it was Ralph Kiner who signed the ball. So you got Ralph Kiner and Willie Mays on the ball. He was going to bring that today. He hadn't been sick.
Oh, wow.
And then he also has a Willie Mays picture of him making the big catch on big words in the 1954 World Series. So those are things that are not, I don't have them, but they were supposed to be.
We're thinking of him.
Yes.
Very nice.
Then, if anyone knows me at all, they know I went to SMU. And my next door neighbor at SMU was a guy named Jim Beck. And he became a fraternity brother of mine, lifelong friend. Well, if anyone's heard that name, Jim Beckett, if they collect memorabilia, they've seen the Beckett price guide and all that type of stuff. Well, Jim and I used to trade cards when we were around college and after college. And we said, there's got to be a way to figure out how to grade these and make them so that they're, this one looks like crud and the other one looks great. There ought to be a difference in value and sharp corners, clear, whatever. So anyway, over time, Jim developed the methodology to grade cards and statistically figure out how much a card was worth based on all the dealers in the whole nation.
Wow.
He has a PhD in statistics. And so he started the Beckett Company. So I brought a couple of my cards from 1951, which was the first year Topps made cards. Most people think it's 52, really 51. And it was a game. Each card, this one's Stripe, Don Linhart, and this is Bruce Edwards' triple on his card. So you play the game with these cards and be a baseball game. So these are what are known as blue backs. There are red backs and blue backs. Haven't been 51. So I can pass these around. You can just see them.
So cool.
Yeah. You want to see them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they value that? Did the Beckett value those?
Yeah, everything. The value isn't on those. I can tell you. I can tell you they're probably worth $100 and something bucks each. Okay, another thing. It used to be I had a brother-in-law who I don't have now, but I did have, and he had a sports memorabilia store named Cranks. Anybody remember Cranks?
Fans for vintage baseball.
It was on, that's right. And it was on I-45, kind of in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
And anyway, he'd have guests show up. So one day I got to sit for 2 hours with Jim Palmer, just yapping and talking on, eating, and he signed a bunch of stuff for me, a home plate, a pitching rubber, balls. But anyway, this picture is one thing I brought so I could carry it. Jim Palmer, autographed that for me, pass that around.
What year was that?
This picture is from 1980 something.
Is that an Oriole uniform?
Yeah, yeah, he was always with the Orioles.
That's what I thought. It looked like Vincent or Cat.
And the other thing,
82 race.
and then the other thing, Joe was with me when I picked up this gem.
Kind of jealous.
I was, if anyone knows me, I'm a baseball fan, of course, but I like baseball movies. And three of my favorites are Field of Dreams, Moneyball, and Major League. And so anyway, I'm walking by to our table, a SABR table, and I said, "Wow, they got a bunch of memorabilia over here. I'm gonna look at that." And this thing kind of grabbed me. If anyone has watched Major League at all, it's a wild thing right here. Charlie Sheen.
Ricky Vaughn.
Yeah, Ricky Vaughn, exactly.
He's actually signing autographs today and tomorrow. Right.
Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Cast of the Sandlot. Yeah.
Charlie
Where?
Sheen shined this
NRG. NRG.
wild thing, pass that
How
right.
about it?
Line.
Football state.
Now, John, is that signed Charlie Sheen or is
Yeah.
that signed Carlos Estevez?
According to
His name.
guy, yeah,
Or Ricky Bond.
it's not Ricky Bond. I asked him, he said, that sure is sloppy, but, he said it's Charlie Sheen, so whatever. Anyway, that's the other part of my,
And what's the name of that collector that we keep trying to get to come talk to us?
you want me to pass this around or just do that? I just-
Uh,
There you go, you see it.
And John, what's the name of that collector we keep trying to get to come talk to us? He has all these great stories. The one that at the Fan Fest, what's his name? The collector?
You talking about the guy that I got my memorabilia from?
Yeah.
His name is Ken Sessions.
Oh, he has tons of stories. Tons of stories about
Kent
that.
Sessions.
Ken Session. Tons. Kent.
Kent, and he has the largest collection of Babe Ruth autographs.
Wow.
Also, there's a warehouse full of stuff.
And he told a great story about a Christy Matheson card or something.
Yeah, but he was telling you and I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so I need him to come talk to us.
But anyway, he has so much memorabilia. I mean, just there, right there at Fan Fest, I would have to say there had to be 300 different amazing things that he had for sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I tried to convince my daughter-in-law that I would buy her a picture of the Sandlot, is another baseball movie, and it was signed by every one of the the actors in it.
Huh.
And they're all in the picture, and it's all autographed. But she said, no. Anyway, there's another thing.
I got a bit of nostalgia around 1951 top cards.
Yes.
I grew up in New York. And I remember, evidently they didn't sell them well in 1951.
They did not.
Because I bought a set in 1955. I had no idea what, I was 8 years old in 1955. And I think it cost 10 cents for the set.
Yeah.
The red bat set.
Yeah.
And it came with the 52 cards.
Right.
And I used to play the game all the time.
Right.
That was 4 years after.
Well, and to add to my story, how I got my cards was I was in the first grade in 1955. I was 6. I went to our year-end carnival, and there was something where you threw darts and pop balloons. If you pop a certain number, you got the prize. Well, my prize was 51 tops. This is 1955. The 1951 tops cards.
Well, that's, they must have came out again in 55.
No, they didn't come out, they just had sold. And the other part of the story, 52, big year, everyone thinks first year pups. They have them in, back then they did them in series. And the series that began, there's I think 5 series in this, not 52 tops. And the last series started with card number 311, which was Jackie Robinson, I think. And it comes up again. And so 311 to 407 is the last part of that set. And Topps it was football season by the time they came out with the series, so they weren't selling, so they dumped them all in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
That's in the ocean, all of the cards. And so very few of card 311 to 407. That's why they're so expensive, that particular group of cards.
Wow.
What a decision.
Yeah.
I got one
Man made that
question
decision.
from the 1952 top set. There were 407 cards in the set.
Yeah.
But there were 5 Hall of Famers who were active in 1952 who were not included in the set. And anybody name 5?
And he balanced one.
No, he's in.
He's in set, yeah, he's in set.
Mutual.
Not-
Dan Musial.
He's not in there, yeah.
Williams?
He was in the service.
Yeah, he was in the service. Oh, that were active?
Yeah, all right.
Rizzuto's in the set.
He's in the
Campanella? Campanella's in the set.
He's in the set too. I have Broke, he's in the set.
What's the answer?
The answer is Stan Musial, Hal Newhouser, Nellie Fox, Ralph Kiner, and Satchel Paige.
Wow.
They were all
back to.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Nice stuff. Thank you, Ken. Who's next?
Hello, Mr. Glove.
Okay, I guess my turn.
Yes, sir.
Trying to find something that everybody has some interest in. I was thinking back to when I first fell in love with baseball. And I think it was 1944. See, I'm an old time. And I wanted to play baseball. Now, if you think about it, 44, the war was going on. So I was living with my mom. My dad was in the service. So she made up her mind that she would try to get me a baseball glove. And remember, things were rationed back in 44. Gasoline was rationed, butter was rationed, sugar was rationed. So wasn't a lot of things available. But she said she would take me to the only sporting goods store we had in our hometown in New Jersey and buy me a glove. Which I'm sure took a lot of her money, spending money. So we went to the store, and the gentleman who waited on us was very nice. Started asking me questions. You want to play baseball? Yes. What position do you play? I said, well, I think I'm the first baseman. And I said, well, are you left-handed or right-handed? I said, I'm left-handed. He says, oh my gosh, I got a glove for you. I got a first baseman glove. This is it. This is my glove, 1944. Wow. It looks a lot like gloves the professionals were using back in the 30s. It's been restrung several times. But it's in, I would call, okay shape. But the leather is good. I cannot find whose glove it is. Where's it? Maybe you can see it, but I can't see it. So that was my first glove. This is the one that not only did my mom buy it for me, it was my best friend. I slept with it. I carried it everywhere. It was my glove. It's really neat. I'll pass that around.
And it fit me pocket too.
Yeah. And then my second glove, keep all this stuff. This is my second glove. And it's pretty bad shape. Pretty bad shape. Back in those years, they came out with a 2-finger glove. 2-finger, yeah, thumb and the other two. That was the rage at one time. They came up with a basket. Now, this is a Spalding glove.
Seen a 3-fingered, I never saw a 2.
Oh, well, whatever.
Play the outfield.
I played everywhere with it. Shit. I didn't need a position. You know, I played everywhere with it. Try to wear it out. They put too much pad in the heel. And so it was awkward. I catch it in the web, but catch it in the hand was very awkward. I always thought I'd take some of that padding out, but I never did. It's been restrung a couple times. You can see where it's broken.
So that's called a 3-fingered glove, right?
No, it's called, but it's 3 fingers.
3-fingered Dorrill.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a 2-finger.
Well,
Well,
3-finger Brown.
okay.
3-fingered Dorrill.
So I'll pass it around.
Mordecai Brown, right?
You can see
3-finger.
the gloves look back. This was a 52, 53 model, something like that. I was in junior high school. I remember my dad, after he got out of service, he was a traveling salesman. And so he sold felt slippers, which wouldn't think, it was all the big stores bought or sold. And he made a pretty good amount of money on those felt slippers. But anyway, well, he on one of his trips, he always brought us back something. So I asked him, bring me back a baseball gloves. This is the one he brought back. Oh, they're very good.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Bob. All right, who's next? Whoever wants to go. Whoever wants to go. I don't care.
Many of you know that I'm from Philly, so.
Well.
Just in recent days, I've been cleaning out some of my drawers and I came across a few old baseball things and it's true. So, and what's true, but back in the latter part of the 80s, I was both a season ticket holder and I attended one of the Phillies Dream Week camps. But anyway, in 1987 season, Mike Schmidt hit his 500th career home run. It's a great recording, Harry Callis doing the call. But anyway, Schmidt wound up sending a letter, kind of a form letter, to all season ticket holders. And I won't read it, but I'll pass it around so that you folks can read it. It's kind of cool because it commemorates the greatest Philly of all time. And, on one of the big events, he wound up with 548. And this
What's at
one,
549 until I raise that speaker?
this one is a picture of Old Timers Day in Philadelphia in 1988. And I'll just read some of these names because it's a collection of some of the greatest players of all time. Dick Allen, Richie Ashburn, Enos Slaughter, Jimmy Wynn, Randy Hundley, Rico Carty, Willie Horton, Freddie Patek, Billy Williams, Warren Spahn, Shaq Crawford, Dick Sisler, Bobby Bonds, Larry Doby, Lou Boudreau, Billy Herman, Jerry Lumpy, Dennis Leonard, Robin Roberts, Luke Appling, Larry Boa of Great Phillies, John Hiller, Tommy Davis, Mazeroski, Lou Burdett, Ralph Branca, and Joe Rudy. They're all included in this picture.
Now, what year?
1988, Old Timers in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
So. That's it.
That's it. Thank you, Glenn.
Is people didn't know or couldn't tell I'm a Brewers fan.
No.
Yeah. So this is what I brought today. Milwaukee's the smallest market in baseball. So when Miller Park, now American Family Field, was built, it was a pretty big deal because there wasn't a guarantee that baseball was going to stay in Milwaukee until there was a new stadium. So this is a program that's from the first game ever at Miller Park, and I had the starting lineup autograph this program. So I've got one more guy to get. That's why it's not framed, but it's got a couple names you may know, probably not most of them, but Jeremy Fernandez, Jeff Jenkins, Richie Sexton, so a few names on here. But that's where I brought in.
What is the name that you don't have?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Jose Hernandez. Jose Hernandez. Yeah. So he was a shortstop that day.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
All right.
Anyways, that's it.
Thank you.
You got user on that?
Out of this one now. I think it,
Jeremy Burnett is from Conroe.
Is he? Yeah, he's on here. He did some. Yep.
Can you remind everybody who you are again?
I'm Paula Swain. I think this is only my fourth meeting. I travel a lot for work and I'm almost always out of town when y'all are doing this. Or I go to baseball games. I'm a season ticket holder. But this, I was so excited because it was show and tell. So I said something to my daughter. She's like, Mom, there's so many things. But I brought this because this is what I'm really proud of late. It all started, it's a Rawlings women's purse. But it all started with Dusty Baker's autograph in 2021. At the end of the regular season, some friends and I had gone over to the Westin for a beer after the game. And he was there. So I asked him to sign it and then he signed it. And then after that, everybody else wanted to sign it because Dusty had signed it. So I've got Altuve, I've got Bregman, I've got Hunter Brown. That was a cute story. I went to go see him when he was out with Space Cowboys and he walked through, you know, they have that big area with the bar where the suites are. And he walked through, I guess they go visit suites. And as he walked back through, I jumped up and asked if he would sign it. And at that point, it was Dusty with a lot of other autographs on the front. And he was thrilled. And I showed it to him. And then I flipped it on the back. And I said, you have to sign the back because you've not been brought up yet. So anyway, he chuckled and he was just as sweet as he could be. And he signed it. And then later he signed it again. He said, no, I remember this lady. And he added World Series champions to it. This is really special. And at FanFest, as I went through the paid line, the cranky Astro Foundation people, you know, they're very, very clear that you can only get those FanFest balls signed. But I'm short, and when the players are at the table, I wear it like this, and they see it, and they're like small children. They put their hands out and say, "Can I sign this?" And I say, "Sure." And the guy was saying, "No, you can only sign the balls." And Lopez kind of like said, "You know, I'm going to sign it." But when I got to the end, it was Correa because I didn't have Correa's autograph. The guy that was tailing me down the line said, no, you can't sign that. And Carlos said, I can sign anything I want. And
Oh,
did this. And he took the ball and he was just as nice as he could be. Anyway, this is a family heirloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And my daughter said, I can't pass it around.
And you want to explain the jersey? Is that just?
So I travel a lot for my job, and to Asia a whole lot. And when I travel, I always check to see who's playing where. So I've been to 3 different Swallows games in Tokyo. There's 2 teams in Tokyo. They're the Giants and the Swallows. And I've been to the Tokyo Dome and I've been to the Swallow Yakult Stadium twice. So
I would love for you to make a presentation about that or write something for the newsletter. A story about going to Japan and playing a game. Yes.
You too.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely. You need a whole hour.
Okay,
At least.
I don't need an hour. And I wouldn't encourage me to talk anymore.
Well,
so.
let the pictures do your talk. Thank you.
No, I didn't. He's ugly, so it's out, so I didn't see him. Anyway, thank you. And
Thank you.
we'll pass it around, just put it in the ketchup.
Who was it, Mike? Who wants to go?
It's interesting. You can read the signature.
Well, Jimmy, you want to go? Right.
I can go. Yeah, finish the back of the room.
All right, finish the back of the room. Let's go. All right. Huh?
Sure.
Okay.
It's big, but
it's fine.
Okay. This is a collage I made of the 05 Penguins.
Oh.
That's not a good one. That's it, man.
And for one thing, this is when the Chronicle was a Chronicle. They actually printed articles.
Yeah.
So what I started doing midway through the season was saving newspapers, thinking the guys will do it. Well, what this is like in July, where all these people predicted what they would be, and this guy predicted they'd be 60 and
Predicted what?
year was it?
Where they would be.
05. It's a collage of the 05. There we go.
Sports Illustrated predicted we'd lose 100 games.
So,
Wow.
I pass it around. It's
Oh, yeah, we
a
bring the
big,
thumper
but it's
started off.
not heavy. I've got box scores from games. I've got, somewhere on here, top 10 perks of getting into the World Series for Roy Oswald. Another 2 weeks of wearing a cup and showering with the guys. Get to visit exotic far off destinations like Illinois. More time to discuss with the team doctor if Cialis is right for me. Discount beer is only $18. Certificate for 1 free blowing pool. And then number 1 was if Steinbrenner wants me, my price is now $1 billion. So,
That's cool, Jimmy.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm working on one like that now. It's a big collaborative website.
But you don't have the early season,
Website links.
headlined by one of the sports writers, Barry the Astros, they're clear like.
Oh, yeah.
It's the white.
Oh, you made it? Wait.
It's the white.
R.I.P.
I couldn't get the newspaper. Somebody I knew at the library made up.
Oh, that is. a copy.
Yeah. What was the quote they had?
April.
Bury the Astros. That's when we were 15 and 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right after we went 15 and 30, bury the Astros. Okay, anybody over here? Scott, Bob? Yeah.
I looked, new books up there.
Okay, so let's make our way over here. Who we got? Want to go here? Herb?
I kind of wanted to, since I mentioned, showed the Charlotte Sheen photo, the Saber printed something yesterday that's out there, everybody know, if you noticed about the convention in Cleveland. They're gonna show the Major League film as part of the convention and have the director answer questions after. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cool. The other thing, I just brought this is very recent, it was this year. My daughter, for my birthday, got me a tour of Dyken Park, behind the scenes type tour and all that, and you also got to go on the field during batting practice. So I picked a game, the Tigers were in town, figured it wouldn't be very crowded, and it wasn't. So it was a weekday game. So it's just me and one other guy got on this tour. So basically almost had a private tour. And the best part was the batting practice after the game, because I didn't realize you're gonna have that much contact with the players and coaches and all that stuff. Well, only thing I had with me was my scorebook. So I got 5 autographs while I was on the field there. Most of them you can't read. You can read Todd Callis. I actually saw him in the kind of not on the field, but as we were walking down. Jose Cruz happened to be out there, so he signed. And then the others are all players, Zach DeCenzo, Chas McCormick, and Jake Myers. So it's just something to keep.
Thanks, sir. Good stuff. All right, Mike.
I brought 2 things and wound up with 3. This is an interesting picture I took. Oops. Copy of it. I went to the Hearst Castle. Hearst. And this is a picture of the mantle being imported from Europe. And there's a naked guy on there with a baseball bat. I don't know how, it's from like the 15th century. So kind of postdates how old baseball really is. And I had sent that to McCurdy, and he did an article about it when he was doing his Pecan Park things every day.
You have the link for that? You have a link to our article? Do you remember that article?
On Park Eagle.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but do you remember which one?
No, I didn't even know that. That was it. It was inside my. This is a program. My dad got me out of school, took me to opening day in '63 for the Colts. Second year, you were there too. Yeah, it was Rusty Staub's first game. And we played the Giants. So I had the lineups. I kept score the way I did for that spinner baseball thing that they talked about at the baseball games at the Hornsby convention. But Jim Davenport was at third. And we went to a game the year before, and Jim Davenport was at third. And Willie Mays homered in the game, and he had homered in the first game I went to. McCovey and Zepeda also homered, and Felipe Alou. I was thinking Mike White had played in this game, but he didn't. And he was a left fielder that played shortly for the 45s, but he was on the list of people that died during 2025 along with Carl Warwick. But anyway, this is the program from that game and the list of the people. And then
What year was that?
63. Then I have a good friend that pitched for the Astros, I think in '79. He went 2-2 and then hurt his arm. He was like the third person to have Tommy John that never came back, Frank Urselli from New York. But he was the #1 pick for the Giants in '71. And when they put the Willie McCovey statue out over McCovey Cove, Frank's never been married. Came close a lot of times, but they invited all the players that had ever played. It was interesting for a couple of reasons. One, he had never been to San Francisco. He had pitched for him. He got called up in San Jose. He was in Arizona, and of course, you broke back then. So he roomed with some guys in San Jose, and they would drive to Candlestick, which is on the south end of San Francisco, play a game, and then go home. So I got to show him San Francisco a little bit when I was there. But they invited everybody that had ever played for the Giants. And they had a reception. That's when they opened the new ballpark. And so we waited in line to go inside. In front of me, I think the guy's name was Bob Dorrill. He was the owner. But he was such a fan, he didn't feel like he deserved to go in with everybody else. So he waited in line. And right behind me was Slaughter's daughter. So we talked to her, and he's quite the baseball person. But I took a baseball in. I brought this out here before. I don't know if I did, because I couldn't find it for a while. But anyways, I got a bunch of autographs from the Giants, including Jack Sanford, that was in the first couple of games I saw. I didn't get Willie Mays, but I got McCovey and Gurpeta and Gaylord Perry. Didn't get Willie's, and Lee Palou was the manager then. He talked to everybody and then he left, so I didn't get a chance. But then I took my daughter up to visit Monty Irvin when he was here. So I've got 4 Hall of Famers on that ball, plus a lot of the guys I saw play on that. So that's my special stuff.
Thank you, Mike.
Nobody's still my naked guy.
Good, all right, got it. Anybody else?
That's my 2015, my favorite souvenir from the 2015 Hall of Fame. They might be your shirt, but not autographed.
Well, hold on, Marcia, let's see. Say it again.
This is my favorite souvenir from the 2015 Hall of Fame induction for Craig, but it's not autographed.
Autograph, but you were there.
But it's there.
You were there.
Who was inducted the year before?
Oh, what's his name?
Anybody else?
You want an autograph?
Go ahead.
I have an Astrodome memory.
Astrodome memory. Here we go.
Yeah, a lot of you have met my 2 sons, Robbie and Matthew.
All right, everybody. Astrodome memory, real quick.
Okay, so
We only got 10 minutes till we're
Okay,
supposed
so,
to be out of here. Go
yeah,
ahead.
so my wife and I got invited to an Astros game, September 26th, 1981. And Robbie was 4 years old, so we took him to the game. And that was the game that Nolan Ryan pitched his 5th no-hitter.
Yeah.
Right, so, and we didn't have a ticket for Robbie, we just brought him in and let us bring him in, he sat on my lap. And so when the game was completed, everybody was shaking hands with Robbie, and he was so excited about it. And then we saw that they had the game on a record on the Cheerios box. So they bought the Cheerios and he played that record almost every day after that for like 5 years. So it had the play-by-play for the 9th inning.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, that was his first game, no hitter.
I don't.
That is extraordinary.
How old was he?
4 years old.
4 years old. Wow. What a
That's out of that no hitter is good.
That's right. Right, I remember Terry Poole was the right fielder and he made a one-handed running catch to save the no-hitter. Wow. So Terry Poole became his favorite Astros player just because of that catch when he was 4. So anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? We got, go ahead.
First of all, on James Beckett, I was in Dallas we moved to Texas when I was 10 years old. And a friend of mine knew James Beckett really well. And they both came to my house. And I remember he wanted to buy my baseball clubs. And I didn't sell them. And one thing you mentioned about the grading, of course, he has all these catalogs too. Any type of baseball, football, basketball, whatever kind of card you got, he's got a catalog. He's really built a tremendous empire over the years.
He sold it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, he still works there. He was at the convention in Dallas.
Is he still involved in it or?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that he had sold it. Well, September 22nd, 1954, I was 9 years old. And my parents took me to Ebbets Field. How many of you have ever been to Ebbets Field? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess I'll make 5. You did 7. I was 9.
Oh,
okay. In 1954. Anyway, we walked up to the stadium. And living in New Jersey at that time, we got black and white TV all the time, and you had day games. So the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Giants were all on TV. And so you could pretty much watch any team you wanted, you know, and of course the Dodgers and Giants played each other, but the Yankees were in the American League, so they didn't play. They played the American League teams. And anyway, so I was used to black and white. Well, I get to Evans Field and I remember climbing up these stairs and all of a sudden I look up and everything's all colored. I said, you know, I was just shocked. And I was 9 years old. Well, that game on September 22nd, 1954, was the debut of Carl Spooner. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of him.
15 strikeouts.
Yep. In fact, he had 27 strikeouts his first two major league starts. But the bad part about it was he only ended up winning 10 ball games. And it started the next season. He had the shoulder problems, and his lifetime record was 10-6. And so that was the first major league game I ever saw, and really impressed.
And that was a rookie record, you said.
Yeah. Well, now, your boy J.R. Richard tied it. They both had 15 strikeouts, and J.R.'s was in 1971.
Thank you,
Carl.
Real quick, one more. Go ahead, Lou.
Memory, because Mike was talking so much about the Giants and Willie McCovey, he hit the longest home run I've ever seen live. I was a boy, and my older cousin, his name was Tommy, he took me, and we went to see the Phillies play the Giants at Connie Mack Stadium. And it was a night game. And Connie Mack Stadium had no seats in right field, center, all the way out to the center field wall. There was a big scoreboard that sat in right center field, and on top of that scoreboard was a clock. It was a Longines clock. The name is perfectly ingrained in my mind. And McCovey came to bat, whatever inning it was part of that game. And he got a hold of one, and it went not just over the scoreboard, it went over that clock. And still going up into the night, you know, who knows where it landed in Philadelphia streets. But it was like, that sticks with me. So, I mean, he hit a home run into the night. Definitely the longest home run I've ever seen in live. And so Willie McCovey's got a permanent place in my memory, my baseball memory.
Speaking of him, I forgot to tell y'all, so in that game, he struck out the first 3 times. Then he hit a single, and then Coach 45s were always complaining that wind was too strong from right field, and the left-hander couldn't hit it out. His last time up, he popped out to right field. It's really high fly pop-up, but it wound up going over the fence. So that was his home run. I thought the right fielder was going to catch it easy, but I knew it was hard to hit him out there. So he started off striking out his first 3 times up, wound up the day batting .400. I mentioned that to him when he was signing that ball. And he went, "Is that right?" He could have cared less. Interesting thing about him, though, he's afraid to fly. So he took a bus all the way from Alabama to San Francisco. He never flew it if he could avoid it.
Well, our time is up, everybody. It was a great day today. Great presentations, great memories. I appreciate it. Everybody coming out. We do have some books over there, so bring a book, take a book, bring a book, please. I have a great book from Neil Lancott about the Negro Leagues history. Negro Leagues, if you want one. But let me make one final announcement. For those of you, y'all know the great Greg Maddox, right?
Yeah.
This Tuesday, SABR is going to have a live oral history interview with Greg Maddox. This Tuesday. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock. So you can log in and listen to the great Greg Maddox, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So,
and when's our next meeting?
And our next meeting, I don't know, Mike. February 16th. February 16th, we are having the 5th attorneys in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so this is the year of very unique presentations. At the board meeting we had in December, they're like, hey, let's have some unique presentations this year. Well, I am trying. You didn't think today's presentation was unique. So we're trying. So if anybody has an idea for a unique presentation at the rest of the year, please let me know. If you have any guests.
It's also the Astros Town Hall with Joe, Pada and Dana Brown.
Tuesday's the Astros Town Hall. Is that online somewhere or?
I'm not sure if it's online, it's at Dyke Park, 5 to 7.
Okay, 5 to 7.
Usually I was gonna say, if anybody wants to, write up a short newsletter article, we're probably gonna have some room, so about 500 words, send them in, and we'll see if we can get them into the city or the next.
Right, we're gonna get the newsletter out this week. But thank y'all for coming out. See you on the 16th. All right, bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Great event. Thank y'all. Thank you, Ken. You doing fantasy again?
Heck, yeah.
You like
champions, so.
the Dodgers of the fantasy league?
Not just the baseball. Look, it's not because my baseball knowledge, I think I had nothing else to do.
Really present.
Here, let me shut this down.
Well, you can't.
Yeah, I know. I tried. I got that projector a couple of days ago.
Get the glare off the screen, then you walk in the other room and you get.
Well, it's.
Yeah. And we figured we'd get up
Yeah,
and
so it was all like.
out, but it wasn't leaving at the latest.
Yeah, the 4K.
I said, you know, can we get to that? If we had done anything where I would have been an appropriate for 4 or 5 run out.
Thank you, Bob.
We had that conversation, we